Hey y'all, it's me again, Joey.
Well, ready to let them loose?
Yep, that's it. Let's see if they make us run.
Oh,
Probably so.
yeah, that one tried to get after him, but other than that, what can you expect? I mean, can you blame them? Oh yeah, they're getting after us now. Go, Joey, go!
Hey man!
Hey, man, buddy. I'm gonna get in the truck. You gotta go back and get your camera.
But also, just get as many as you can off the one next to it. Hit out.
You gotta move away.
Do that side again. Y'all ready? Let's get started. Here we are again.
Hey,
Another whole week since we've been here. How's everybody doing?
Doing
Good.
good.
Hope everybody in the chat's doing well. We'll let a few come on in. I've been enjoying this cool weather, y'all. It was 39-ish this
Really?
morning. Yeah. I actually lit my gas fireplace, my gas log, let it burn the dust out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that cool here. I think the high 40s is the lowest we've been.
Yeah. We've had a few mid 40s, some upper 40s. This morning was, like I say, it was in the 38 or 39 when I got up. Keith said it was 33 where he was at. That's chilly.
Yeah, you need to keep your survivor kit in your car and I'm driving to the snowbanks and all that. So,
Let's see. I said hey to a few people in here. Got some more come in. Where they at? I thought I saw some more names. See DC. Hey DC. Rick. See Rick. This. I thought I saw Gunline Bees in there. Couldn't find them again. How y'all doing? Well, I went and did the last mowing on all my bee yards today. And didn't have to mow too much on most of them. Weed eating a little bit. And this evening, the shade had already come back on the boxes. Now I don't even know what the temperature got up into. It warmed back up today. But there was a couple of them I rode by with that mower. There wasn't a bee around them. I said, "Oh, me, looks like another dead out." And I kind of bumped it with that mower, and then nothing came out when I bumped it. And I said, "Well, I'll have to pick that one up this evening or tomorrow." I went on down and come back. When I come back, they had the landing board full of bees coming out to inspect what in the world's going on. Y'all done anything bee wise? Any of y'all? Phillip?
yeah, I did. Well, we had market this morning, but I started feeding some of mine here at Capel. I look surprised though that they don't need as much feed as I thought. I took all their honey, so I thought I really need to feed them, but I only fed 2 so far, and I got the real mean one to go tomorrow, and I got one other one to check. But I'm going down. Noah and I are going to go to Crossroads tomorrow and feed those. I know there's at least 8 or 10 out there that need food real bad. But so funny when you told your story about bumping those hives. Oh, believe it or not, Noah caught a swarm yesterday, right out here in the yard, and it's like, well, I guess that was the last day of October. They say they can swarm through October, right? They've used every bit of it. But so it's sitting in a little nuke out here. But I went over to my mother-in-law's house because I'd caught a tiny little swarm out of my neighbor's tree and stuck it over there about 3 weeks ago, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I went over there to check to see if they were alive. And when I walked in the back, I have a little nuke there that it was one of those. I don't know if you guys ever caught these kind of swarms where it's hanging on the side of a box in the bee yard. It was one of those. Had a laying queen and everything. And then they superseded her. And it was a fall supersedure, and she got mated, and she has a good pattern. But as I'm going to this little tiny nuke that I got from my neighbor's tree, I look over and I don't see a bee coming out of the entrance. It looks dead. I'm like, shoot, I've lost that colony. I went over there and I went to raise the lid and I couldn't get it to go up. So it just had it's a nuke with a migratory lid. So I reached with my hand, I hit it real hard, popped it up. And boy, when I did, it was full of bees and they jumped all over me. I didn't have anything on either. So I got stings. I got like 3 stings on this hand and 1 sting on this wrist. I was wearing a fleece jacket. And bees don't like fleece. I don't know if you guys have tried that or not, but something about that material. They were all on my wrist stinging. They weren't stinging me. They were stinging the wrist of the jacket. So I pulled the jacket down around my hands, but they worked their way inside and they all got me. So yeah, they weren't dead. They were just had gone to bed early and I disturbed them. That's all the bee work I've done is fed a couple. It was the top. Oh, I took off I put honey supers on for the bees to clean out after I extracted the honey. And so I'm in the process of taking all those off. I got a couple more to go, but boy, it was crazy in my backyard. When I took those supers off and set them over on the side, it just set off robin like you wouldn't believe. Fortunately, everybody seems to be big enough to defend themselves. But yeah. I don't know if you guys noticed, I watched Mike Berry's video where he goes out. If he wants to know if there's robin going on, he just goes to any colony, and if it's real agitated at the entrance, that means robin is going on somewhere. And I didn't even think about that, but after I set all these supers out and they were robbing those supers out, I went back and looked at the hives, and he's right. They were just all going crazy right there at the entrance of their hive because that robin just sort of triggers a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Bunch of defensive behavior.
They're all ready.
Yeah. That was it. Had market today, and we had our second worst day, but it was still a good day.
Is this the same market you've been visiting most of the summer?
Yeah, it's the only one we do every other week. We kind of judge. We've only had one day. One market was below $1,000, and today when we left, it was slow this morning because it was cool, and then we got rain. But so I was telling Noah I thought it was an $800 day, and he thought it was a $1,000 day, and it was a $997 day. We got to go back and sell one thing of lip balm.
Yeah.
Didn't get you gold, huh?
didn't get it.
If you'd have known what those numbers were at the end of the day, you could have said to somebody, I need to make $3 more. Who's going to help me do that?
That's
somebody would have obliged that for $3.
Well, what's funny is it was after we were packing up, and it was afternoon, and a family comes up, and I've got all the tasting honey packaged up, but I don't turn the right way. If somebody's there wanting to spend money, I don't turn them away. So I'm like, I'll let you taste all of it. I'll get it back out. She's like digging through my boxes that we're packing up. And she's like, well, I like this jar. We'll buy this one. She wouldn't even taste it. I'm like, I got it right here. We'll get whatever you want.
It was
yeah,
the sense of urgency. She knew that she only had a limited amount of time to get something, and she was bound and determined to spend some kind of money. She didn't just know what.
yeah. Well, I was super nervous at this because we have this Crossroads fall honey, which I don't think is very good personally. But Noah said it had a unique taste to it. He says it tastes like Fig Newtons. It's not sweet. It's got that kind of a, Fig Newtons have that kind of a, I don't know how you describe it. But, and I taste it, I was like, yeah, it kind of does. But we sold at least a case of that today. So it's going over. We only have 3 cases of it, so it's going to go.
That's good. We had a market this morning as well. It was one of the markets that we have done every couple to few weeks, depending on when we had time. Sometimes our sons would do it. And what was interesting about it was we had a similar situation as what you described. At the very end, there was 3 young females that walked up after we had already started packing stuff up. And I guess Melissa was just in the mode to pack up, and they walked up and I'm like, hey, how you guys doing? And they started asking some questions and legitimately were like probably young college age, I'm guessing, and were interested in asking questions. And I was standing there obliging. And then they were looking at honey and she's like, well, what's that one back there? And I'm like, you guys want to sample anything? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll get it out. Not a big deal. And so they let them sample it. And then she was like, well, maybe I'm going to get a bottle of that. I'm like, yeah, sure. Absolutely. No problem. And so Melissa's kind of still packing. And I'm like, I'm absolutely going to sell, whatever the people are wanting to buy. I don't want to haul any of this crap home,
Mm-hmm.
And all 3 of them left with something. And then we probably had a short conversation that lasted maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes. And we're asking a lot of legitimate questions about bees or the process or things like that. And I don't know, took an opportunity to help educate. And they were pretty appreciative of she actually said, they're like, hey, we really appreciate you taking the time to answer these questions and helping us understand this a little better. And I'm like, absolutely. And I always tell people, I'm like, before you go to a supermarket or a place that you don't know or you can't talk to the actual beekeeper, I'm like, find somebody that that's local that you trust. I'm like, whether it's me or somebody else, and I'm like, purchase from them. I'm like, somebody that takes the time to hold the integrity of the product. I'm like, purchase from them, and because we put a business card in every single purchase bag that we sell, and honestly, it pans out because we have people all the time coming up saying, you're the one person that we were looking for and the reason that we came to the market because we knew that you guys were going to be here today. So it's panned out for us and takes the time to help to educate people, I think.
So what do you say you put in your bag?
A business card.
Oh, business card, sure.
Mm-hmm. Every single one. And then the business card has a lot of information, has our contact numbers, has an email on there. It has the QR code for the website, YouTube channel, and the Facebook page. Take them straight to it. So front and back of the card is completely full of information.
That's good.
So,
yeah, I don't do that yet. I have the business cards out, and a lot of people take them. But in the gift sets, I have my business card and all that on there.
Yeah, is that the trifold piece of paper that you use?
Yeah.
See, I like that. I think that's a very, very good thing to have. You never know. Just that little bit of information that you said you have on there, like bee factoids, what that could do to reel somebody in.
Right.
I always look at it as like an opportunity. That, for instance, there was a young man that, I don't know, he was probably my son's age, 18 or 19, that came up and just out of the blue came up and just started asking a bunch of questions. And I took the time to oblige him. And I said, here, you want to try a few things, and let him sample them. And he didn't seem like the kind of kid that was going to buy, but I didn't care. So I obliged him and he walked away. And then in my mind, I'm thinking about this. I'm like, it doesn't matter that I made a sale or didn't make a sale on this one, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, he could be like the next Sam Ramsey, right? Sammy Ramsey or whomever, choose your next best researcher that you like. And that was kind of my process that I thought in my head, you never know. It'd be cool. Like 20 years from now, 15 years from now, whatever it is, some kid come back to you and say, hey, I remember the day that you took the time to give me some bee facts or educate me. and now I'm studying whatever, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way with people. If I spend a lot of time with them, tasting all the different honeys and talking about them and when they were harvested and all that. But I would rather somebody get excited about that and walk away and not buy anything than somebody just walks up and goes, "Yeah, just give me that. I don't want to taste any of it." you know,
somebody that's excited, yeah.
yeah, I'd rather, and when I interact with somebody for a little while and they say thank you and walk away, I'd say, yeah, thank you. Thanks for stopping by and talking to me about this.
Yeah, that's like that seed that's planted.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're also planning. We didn't sell a whole lot of gift sets, like maybe 3 or 4, but I told everybody that we had them now, and then we'll be here every Saturday in December. And everybody's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come back if you have somebody hard to buy for." So that'll all pay off.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we like I said, always give them an opportunity for contact information for us, you know. And I'm like, just scan the QR code, like us on Facebook. That's the easiest way. I'm like, then you'll always know where we're going to be set up at, or where we're going, or an educational opportunity, whatever it might be. We had 2 people stop us today. One lady said she specifically seeked us out. She knew we were going to be up there, and she wanted to confront us to ask us about an opportunity for another vendor market. She goes, she said, "We like what you guys do. We like what you guys stand for, and what we see here with your operation." She goes, "We're going to start up this new venue or something like that." And she's like, "We would really like it if you guys were there." And I'm like, "Well, send us an email, send us the dates, and we'll talk about it and see what that looks like." So that's always good too, to see those opportunities.
Lee's in the house.
JW, what are you up to?
And I like your background too.
Probably 240, maybe 238.
Looking stout, my friend.
My gosh, you're like a guard. Like
I'm a little bit on the tired side.
Well, look how dressed up he is. He's got a pretty background there. He's got look like brand new overalls.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Clean shirt.
I'm trying to get them broke in for novice so I can wear them. You know, I've been Matthew Wright showed up at my place this morning about 8 o'clock. We went directly to the bee yard, and I'm just now coming in from it. So
yeah. I hear he's like a cat. You feed him, he keeps coming back.
just keep coming back. Yeah,
Can't get rid of him.
too.
Was it just him?
Yeah. We broke down and fed and treated, and closed up for winter 36 or 37 hives today. And everything's, I've got all my hives chucked in for the winter except 11. I've got to put some fondant on them, and they're done as except I'll OAV them.
Mm-hmm.
3 times here this fall, and I'm getting ready to go into semi-retirement. I'll go into retirement when I get old, but I'm going to go into semi-retirement now.
You're ready for deer season now.
I don't deer hunt. Only thing I hunt, Phillip, is a place to sit down.
And what is it that you kill?
Time.
That's right.
Hunt for a place to sit down and kill a lot of time.
I'll tell you something.
During my day, I used to, but I don't know. I made peace with the Lord here about 12 years ago. I said I'd never kill another living deal on purpose of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, I've kept it.
That's good.
So,
How do you eat your steak?
Sir?
How do you eat your steak?
How do I use my what steak?
How do you eat your steak?
I eat it raw. You think I'm kidding you, don't you? I do.
No, I believe him. I believe him.
He gets somebody else to do all the dirty work now.
No. Yeah. I do have son and 2 grandsons that hunts pretty hard, so I can get all the, deer meat. And I'm not saying to be braggadocious, but I've killed enough deer to fill a 40-foot trailer behind a semi, I imagine, if you stack them all up in my time, but I don't hunt them anymore.
Yeah, it takes me a couple of years because I clean them myself and process them myself. And after I go, seems like a week's worth of work, man, when you kill one. And after I do that, I'm like, why do I do this? And it takes me 2-3 years before I go, you know what? I'd like to have some meat in the freezer. And I do it all over again.
Well, I don't have anything against it, and I don't mind people hunting. A lot of them on my property. When Matt showed up this morning, I think he seen 7 between my place and the highway, which is 1.5 miles, and I had 2 in the yard when he pulled in the driveway this morning. So,
Wow.
We're just loaded. I mean, Lord, you could kill 50 deer a year if you're so inclined around here. But I don't hunt anymore and don't intend to start again. So
When I'm sitting on the deer stand, all I can think about is how much work I'm not getting done.
mm-hmm.
I can't just enjoy the time. I just have to think, oh boy, I could be painting boxes or building boxes or doing something. But
Oh, I never did eat any elf steaks, DC.
The poor kids at Christmas.
I was wanting to rag you a little bit there, DC, but you did it before I got it all out.
I think those kids at Christmas time will be disappointed.
Mm-hmm. I have a friend. He's a young fella. He was one of the scouts, but he moved. He ended up moving to Alaska, but he went up there for the summer, and he brought me back a huge slab of that cutthroat trout. Not cutthroat trout. What is it? Sockeye salmon. That's what it. Thing was like that tall and that long, and about that thick. And Sophie cooked it with a honey basting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was like a little bit of heaven right there. But he's up there full time now, so I don't get any of that good stuff. It's not going back and forth.
I think I might have told this story one time on a chat. But some little girls that used to go to our church, when friends of ours, when the girls were real young, they never would eat deer meat of any kind. We'd bring it and have it, when everybody come over, and they wouldn't eat it. And we were at the campground and we was going to go float the river one day, and I put a deer roast on the smoker that morning real early. And we went and floated several hours, and we come back, that little roast was ready. And you know how hungry you get when you're in the water for several hours. Them girls were hungry, so they tasted that roast. And when they got through tasting it, I didn't have no more roast left. They found out they really like deer meat, so
That's funny.
that ended that. The first part of the story I kind of skipped. We were when we got the deer, they were there the night we actually hit the deer with the car. we were going out Christmas caroling, and we told them we'd have food for our next luncheon. We can't eat no deer been hit by a car. We don't eat deer anyway, and all that kind of stuff. They didn't care what hit it.
That's funny.
What was that story? I think it was Justin Wilson used to tell about Boudreaux and Pierre. They would go up to Alaska every year and go moose hunting. And said they were flying up there, and the pilot flew them in and dropped them off. And he told them, he said, now make sure you only kill one moose, because this plane's not big enough to carry 2. And so he showed back up a week later, and they're sitting there by the lake bank. They're laying the planes in the lake up there. And he pulls up, and they're laying there. Each of them had a moose. And he looked at him. He said, "I told you only to kill one moose. Which one you want to take?" And Boudreaux looks at him and said, "What's the matter with your plane?" He said, "Nothing wrong with my plane." "All right, load them up." So they loaded up both those moose on the plane, and they took off. And that plane started struggling, and it started clipping the top of those tall, like spruce trees, and clipped a few more. And it didn't go, it went maybe a quarter mile. And they crash landed. Boudreaux rolled over and looked at Pierre and said, "Hey, Pierre, you all right?" He said, "Yeah, Boudreaux, I'm all right." He said, "I believe we made it about 500 yards farther than we did last year."
Oh, boy. I thought you were going to say he said something like, I'm glad we killed that second moose because we're going to be out here for a while. JW, your class is all over now? Or you still got a couple more?
Yep.
Yep.
Thursday night was the last hoorah forever. That was the 6 year, almost, 6 or 7 year ordeal. But the chancellor, who I've got some bees on now, the chancellor of the college conned me into that. And I told him this was the last hoorah. So.
What were you doing? Teaching?
Yeah.
That's cool.
This beginner's class, I called it Beekeeping 101.
So it was for like a community college, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about contacting the community college close to where my farm is. Get some feedback somewhere.
Yep, Mom, maybe be coming through me. I might not shut off my Facebook side of things.
Yeah,
Our local high school went undefeated football through the regular season, and they was playing the first game of the state playoffs. They run into a buzzsaw. They got their. I was trying to listen to a little bit of it while they're out. They got. Well, it's not quite over yet, but I shut them off because they's down 2 touchdowns with about 6 or 7 minutes to go. I'm going to assume that they lost.
So how often did you teach that class?
Well, once a week during the fall season, every Thursday night. That's the reason I backed off on.
Wow, that's a lot. And was it? How often did it repeat? Was it like a semester?
Repeat now, unless they get somebody else to do it.
No, I'm saying you said you've been doing it for 6 years.
Fall every year. I did it fall every year.
Okay.
For 7 weeks.
Okay.
For 6 or 7 years. I'm done. I'm done. So.
You're an emeritus now.
I guess I flunked them all. They won't want me back.
Hey, Phillip, he flunked them all because he got back.
No, I think my youngest one was 17 and my oldest one was 64. Pretty good mixture this year. The 64.
So it was like a continuing education thing.
Yeah, it was a young lady, so the 64-year-old was young to me anyway. So
yeah.
How many is usually in that class?
I don't like to be tied down anymore, sir.
How many is usually in that class?
I've had as high as 22, I think 23, and there was only nine this fall is all I had.
So what kind of field work do you do?
I just bring them out to my apiaries and show them how to, you know, let them do their thing, so to speak. Show them how to set up hives and, you know,
See,
get started and show them the different ways to
you
manage.
could have been recording this all that time. Be like Fat B Man. Here's one of my students.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have. Well, I mean, you should have painting boxes and
Don't paint boxes.
scraping stuff down and
Mm-hmm.
stacking, restack.
Yeah.
That's the main thing you ought to do for the first week is just stack stuff over here and then move it and stack it over there. That's all I ever do.
Sounds like a construction site.
Clean a few dead outs.
Phillip went to the Tom Sauceman, Tom Sawyer,
Yeah.
how to paint the yard fence. That's the way he does. Them poor people out there in Labadee.
You're like, the heck with a syllabus. It's what do I need to get done this week?
That is the syllabus, right?
That's right.
That's a good idea.
Like I've told Joe in the past, I don't get on here and tell people how to what to do with their bees. But that class, I tried to get them figure out, show them the way I set things up and how I got started. So, it was enjoyable, but I'm tired of being tied down with it. So this is my last year off.
I was picturing you up on the graduation stage with those big fuzzy, what's that thing that the professors,
Oh yeah.
Cum laude or whatever.
and your you're more fez like hat than the regular,
No, I'm pretty low. I'm pretty low profile, Joy or Phillip.
Yeah, I only want to teach at the local college part time so I can get like health insurance through the college. I don't really care about it.
There you go.
No, I'm not
Be the
into
ticket.
anything like that. Got into a training ring today at UT. Okay. Mark Miller. I'm fixing to start. Okay. Sure ain't Tuesday. Well, good luck, Mark. Leave all those young co-eds alone while you're out there. Mark's my old buddy. I can talk to him that way.
If Mark's anything like me, there'd be only one of them that might be in danger, and they wouldn't be in danger for very long.
Oh boy.
Grammy, don't pay attention to what I'm saying here. You get thinking bad things about me, Lisa, and I want to for sure stay in good graces so I can get some of that cherry amaretto jelly off of you.
I'm gonna change the subject. So, Tom, do you guys do online sales?
No. I had a couple people have asked about our website, and I said I always tell them I don't have an e-commerce site set up, and I'm like I'm not sure that I want to do that or not.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to do it, but if I have some money left over, I might think about it, but I don't know that I will.
Occasionally, we have people ask us to ship, which we reluctantly will do. But I really don't want to get into that. I don't know. It seems like more time, and I just don't want to mess with it. We don't typically have any problems moving our stuff anyway. We'll, still sell a handful of buckets and stuff.
Sorry, Tom. Mark's comment. You got me.
I see it now.
That threw me off my game there.
Russell Koopman's asking about your market, Phillip.
Yeah, it was good with some challenges. Russell, we had it was hardly anybody there early. It was cool, and then people showed up and it started raining. So, but we still sold probably 80% of what we normally sell.
I'm going to
Good.
tell you guys a little story, if I may, about how bad it is to be friends with these dirty side guys that come across the river. I got up this morning, I don't know, little before daylight, got up. And the minute the sun started rising in the east, it was perfectly sunny and nice. And I thought, boy, this is going to be a beautiful day. I get to the farm, sun's still shining, perfectly beautiful and clear, beautiful day. Birds are singing. And I look down the road and here come a gray pickup. I could spit faster than he drives. He comes up my road and pulls in the driveway. I swear to God, Jesus strike me stone cold dead. He pulls in my driveway and the cloud cover came on. And it stayed cloudy till this afternoon. About 30 minutes before dark, he pulls out of my driveway and heads back towards the dirty side. Just turned the corner at the bottom of the hill from my driveway. Out pops the sun. And it's cloud. It's been clear ever since. So let that be a lesson to you. Do not mess with those dirty side guys because they'll bring clouds upon your horizon.
You followed him right around, like Charlie Brown or whatever, with the cloud over his head as he's walking.
So we go. I've got a little old. It's an easy go. Now it used to be Cushman, but and they still got the Cushman on the. I call it the fart mobile. It's a little golf cart that I work. It's got a bed on it that I work my. Look there.
There's Matt.
He's got to be listening.
I was hoping he wasn't missing all of that. Be a shame.
There's no way he can be home yet. That's got to be on his radio. On his anyway. We're one bee yard and we go to the second bee yard. We fix it down. We head back to my place. He's in his pickup truck and I'm in this Cushman golf cart. And he's ahead of me. We get up the road and I'm getting ready to pass him because that's how fast he's driving. And my golf cart will run every bit of 17 or 18 mile an hour, So he pulls over to the side. He pulls over to the side of the road. He said, I wanted to slow down. They didn't want to throw dust in your face. So I got up the road ahead of him. We get about a mile and a half over to my place, and I'm in the golf cart. He's about half a mile behind me. So he pulls up. I said, Matt, that's the biggest joke I ever heard tell of. He said, that. I said, you never drove hard enough in your life out here to throw up any dust that would bother me. He's a good guy, so we have a lot of fun. I enjoy having him out here. He's the only guy that ever helps me. Everybody else wants to take advantage of me. I don't know why.
Did you look in the back of his truck? He might have pulled over and killed one of your deer and threw it in the back.
You know what he had in the back of his truck? I had to call him and make him come back after he left. He had my smoker. And I told him, I said, Matt, you can have my truck. You can have my fart mobile. You can have my wife. You can have my dog. You can have my smoker or my hive tool. That's
Oh, you mule.
He can have your dog.
He
can have your dog.
Over my hive tool or my.
He's your best friend, though.
Yeah, he is he's my oldest friend I got, I
think. You sound like that Steve Martin kid. All I want is this lamp. That's it. That's all I want. And this dog.
All I need.
All I need.
You can't be tuning in and put the post on. You're going to run off the side of the road. I know you're running at least 35 or 40.
Hey, Matt, if you can get out of there with a smoker, I'll give you $100 bill for it and we can auction it off.
Yeah, we can talk now.
I'm going to come back and bring the smoker back. So,
Hey, if we got an autographed JW smoker from his house and
my
auction it
goodness.
off, I guarantee we could auction that thing off for a bill and a half. There's no way it couldn't.
Yeah, more than that, I bet. If Fred Dunn sold for like 1,500 or something, we can beat that.
We could get Ricky's wife to paint something pretty on the back of it, have
Yeah.
JW sign it. A couple bills, maybe.
Well, you know the one I'm talking about. You've used it a time or two. It's supercharged. It blows. It's got a heck of a bellows on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that thing for 15 or 20 years.
Hey, at least he didn't take the one out of the greenhouse shop.
Nope. No. That's there to stay. So I go anyway. That was my dad's. I've got a smoker that's over 100 years old. Guarantee it is.
Huh.
It's in good shape, too.
Yeah, no. He's got a. When they used to make oil cans out of cardboard, you guys go back that far? You know, you bought motor oil and cardboard boxes.
Used
I
to have the
remember them.
spout. You talking about the can, the round can with the spout you plugged in the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used those when we were
Oh,
younger.
yeah.
That's what the hive or the bellow, whatever you want to call it, the hive body or the body of the smoker is, and it's got the hive or the body, and it's bale and wire together. My dad burned it completely out, and I mounted it to a oil can, which was made out of cardboard. That's where it's at now. It's hanging in my bee house, combination bee house, greenhouse.
Night, Lee.
Did all of Matt's colonies look pretty good when you guys got in there? You probably didn't get down in them too hard, just kind of get a little basic feeding and stuff.
Yeah, we got them pretty. Checked them all out. They're nice and strong, and
Good.
we got them all fed up.
You just have them at the two different locations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Phillip, I didn't ask you how your mama was doing.
You know, I don't. I guess she's probably doing about the same. You know, I saw her last week. I can't call and talk to her anymore, but yeah, if things change, I'm sure I'd know about it. It is going to be a little bit tough next weekend because I've been going every 2 weeks to see her, but this next weekend I'm committed to help do some training for some scout stuff, so I'll be missing that one and be like a whole month between seeing her, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, she's getting to that point to where I kind of have to get right in her face to get any kind of real reaction out of her.
Really?
Yeah.
She have somebody that takes care of her while you're not there?
She's got 24-hour care. 2 different ladies come by and take care of her. But they still get her out of bed. She still goes and sits in the living room. Sometimes sits outside on the breezeway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Now your mother's place is kind of out in the country. Is that right?
It's the whole town I grew up in is out in the country. More of that. Yeah. But it has a small little downtown area with no stoplights, just a stop sign. But yeah, she does live out on a Oxbow Lake right off the Mississippi River.
Did you say that was the Capel place, or is that something else?
No, that's over on the east side of Louisiana.
Is she on the clean side or dirty side, Phillip? I need to know.
I guess if you ask my side, it's going to have to be the clean side. Yeah, that old Mississippi bunch across the way there. Yeah, I grew up a mile from Mississippi.
Me too.
Yeah, you were a mile from the land border.
Yeah.
Out the
Actually, about 2 miles.
and it's the way that river moves around. I would say that I was probably a mile from the river, and then another mile. The Mississippi River is a mile wide right there.
Oh, you was a mile from the river, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say that I was probably maybe 2 or 3 miles where the exact place I grew up. But the river used to be. There's old pictures of it. The old steamships would those old paddle wheel boats would pull right up to downtown. But when the Corps started building the levee system, the river's another probably half mile to the east of where it was back then, because it used to flood that whole area. But yeah,
Did you ever meet Huckleberry or any of that bunch when you lived over there on the river?
we would go out in the spring when the river was dropping, and we would play on those sandbars. And then it turned out that was one of the most dangerous things you could do, because like a whole acre of land will slough off in that river all of a sudden. And you can get out on one of those sandbars, and you can walk way out into the river, and it'll only be knee deep. But sometimes that river's cutting underneath that sandbar, and you'll slip right through it, and you're gone. You don't even come. When you come back up, you're gonna hit that land you were standing on, and it's over with.
Like my mother used to tell me, says, I don't want you getting into that water till you learn how to swim.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some kids from the high school south of us. They went out there after school, and one of the girls was like a popular cheerleader, and she slipped through the sandbar, and like 4 of the football team died trying to rescue her.
Wow.
They just kept all popping, going down in the same hole. I think the last one figured out that wasn't worth doing, and was able to tell people what happened. They I don't know if they ever found them. If they did, it was miles down the river. But
That's sad.
Yeah, that was a tragedy, but it made the headline of that story made the I think the Johnny Carson show. He used to read funny headlines out of the paper, and the little town was called Waterproof, and the headline was 4 waterproof youth drowned.
Wow.
It was a true story, but it was kind of a funny headline for somebody that never seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many bee yards do you have next to a large water source like that, Phillip?
I don't have any.
No.
There's a drainage area that comes through my land. It in high water, and it actually goes over the road at certain times.
Mm-hmm.
They keep. I think there's 2 or 3 big culverts there. They keep adding a culvert to see if it'll channel it. But it does. My beehives are high and dry. Knock on wood. They have never been. My new bee yard over at one of the neighbors' houses, a mile and a half away. The grass is pretty deep when I set it up. Right after I set it up, it rained that night. I noticed it's built in a kind of a little drainage swell. It doesn't get high enough. My hives are up on stands, so it doesn't get high enough to get to them. But I wouldn't have put it there. It studied it a little closer.
Yeah. I asked that because we have one yard that is next to a small river west of me. And last year it seemed to produce a little bit more nectar in the late season. I think it's because there's a couple wildflower meadows near there. But there's also part of that 80 acres that's there that the folks own is sharecropped. And I think they had a bunch of beans on it. No, let me think about this. It had beans on it this year because I went down and looked at the blooms, and they were a purple bloom, which I was told the purple soybean bloom doesn't produce nectar. But one other spot that we have bees at, that's 15-ish or so minutes from there, had the white bloom soybeans, and they actually did produce a little bit from that, I believe, because I seen some bees working it, and I seen wet nectar in the colonies at the time the blooms were present. So I'm just making an assumption there, but I can't help but to wonder, maybe some folks that are in the chat, let me know your experience. If you have a bee, I'm not just talking one season, I'm talking over maybe a handful of seasons, kind of averaged out. Do you think that there's more forage in the middle to late season because of being next to a riverbank or something that has a good constant water source? Is there more incoming food into your colonies? And would you make an assumption that it's because of that?
That's a great question. And it could be. I know I know I am just like 1 mile from the Elm Fork of the Trinity River, which, runs year round. It gets pretty high at times, but, so yeah, that's a real possibility because for whatever reason, my bees here in Capel, well, I think I know the reason. It's because everybody waters their yard all the time, but they don't go through drought conditions like my bees down at the farm.
Yeah.
They never tend to really struggle too much during the summer. Now, this year we had plenty of rain, and they actually kept bringing in honey throughout the summer.
Mm-hmm.
They only took all, usually it's July and August are real bad, but it was way over into August before they started struggling a little bit. And even that wasn't what I call a struggle. And down at the farm, my bees will go broodless in August.
Well, I only ask that because, that's something to think about if people are moving bees or putting bees on other properties other than your own. We had this conversation with somebody the other night. I can't remember who it was, but talked about, I think it was at a club meeting for a different club, not ours. And the comment came up, and I was kind of just sitting back and listening to these comments to kind of understand what these people's thoughts or experiences were. And one of the things that was mentioned was that not every location, and it's so much of a microclimate, in your area, you could have colonies that thrive in one area, and then a mile down the road, they're struggling or there's not bringing any weight on. And I don't know. I believe that. I believe there are probably microclimates, but here's another thing too. From year to year, that could shift. There's so many things that just, different areas that might be receiving rain or no rain, or when they're receiving the rain specifically or not getting it, or if they're by an area or river system or a large creek that tends to hold more water that might have some sort of forage there, even something like smartweed, because smartweed will grow in like agricultural ditches or, along banks and things like that. And that'll produce a dark nectar. I don't know that I've had it before. I didn't think it was that good. Personally, some people like it. But what if it helps to fill a box or to maybe supplement a brood box as far as food, then it's a win, in my opinion. You don't have to feed back as much. So it's something to think about if people are considering moving bees onto other properties. There's not every location is a good location, even if it's free to put bees on. I know the criteria that we use is just kind of a general set of criteria as far as putting bees somewhere. I like to go look at it. I like to look at the plants around the area and kind of drive around. I like to look at the accessibility with the pickup truck because, you have to be able to drive right up to it. I'm not going to carry boxes 50 yards. And I also like to see a water source within a very close proximity of it.
Right.
Thinking about midsummer particularly, those bees have to have a lot of water to cool colonies and to drink from. And if there's not a water source close by, they have to fly that much further to get it. So I see it's kind of a lose, but yeah, so those are a few things that we're looking for specifically.
Well, Bracken, he didn't get rain for months, but his bees seem to do okay. And I think he said there's a river close by where his beehives are. So I bet that's how they did that.
You can see it next to one of his fields in a lot of his videos. He'll show that it's a small little river system that's there, but nonetheless, there's water in it. So there's plants growing on the banks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Matt, that honey's not that good. Only.
I was muted. Um, all my bee yards have a water source fairly close.
You'll never.
This main yard, it's got a pond about 200, maybe 300 feet behind it in the woods. It's grown up, but it still holds water.
Mm-hmm.
And in front of them, about, I'm going to say 600 feet, is a creek that runs through right by our property. And in my prison yard, it's within just a couple hundred yards of a creek. My Reagan yard, there's a pond right by it, and it's always had a water source because just above that pond, there's like a little. It's just always held a lot of water there for whatever reason in the woods right behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say the only one that's kind of dry is by my mom's, but she has her little water garden that kind of keeps them busy.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take much.
Yeah. But I do notice a difference, like the one I call my Taylor yard. I don't have 4 hives there, but there's a pond close by. You can't see it, but I know there's a pond close by there, and I'm guessing that was their closest water source. It's probably 600-700 yards from there.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they still go to it. Now, having said all that, this yard here by the house, it's got water in front of them and water behind them. But you let it come a rain for a day or two, and those ditches get to rolling a little bit. They love getting in that murky ditch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of minerals is washing out of these woods into these ditches, but they love getting in that.
You guys notice about the last, I don't know, I'm gonna say month-ish or so. You ever notice how much bees are foraging for that propolis or making propolis?
I hadn't paid any attention.
So here's some. I'll try to show a picture. Joey, maybe I can send this to you. You can pull it up if you don't mind. This is something. Let's see here. Sure.
Hey, Joe, you recognize that?
I don't. Yeah, you got it on a bucket, huh?
Yeah. We use it. We've been using it.
It works good.
Oh, yeah. It's a little stiffer than the other ones, but it works.
Yeah.
Did those pictures come through to you, Joey? I sent them to Messenger.
All right. Just have to give me a minute to go ahead and get them on my computer.
That's fine. You don't have to load all of them. Just a couple. It's fine. I took a handful of pictures the other day. I noticed it's in the bee yards, and I've seen it before, but for whatever reason, it caught my attention this time for some odd reason. Maybe through different chats and stuff that we've had, or things people have asked me about that get me thinking. Sometimes my brains will have thoughts rattling around in it for a while if somebody mentions something that catches my interest, and tend to think about it from time to time. And this is one that kind of caught my attention here. But just talking about propolis and talking about, bees gluing boxes down and where they allow airflow to come in and where they don't allow it to come in, or how much airflow is in there, and all these fun little factoids that we can argue about, and everybody has their own ideas about, ventilation at the top, no ventilation at the top, and all this. So when Joey sees and pulls them up, I'll kind of describe them a little bit more, but they'll be pretty self-explanatory. We still have a lot of colonies that are above a double screen board just because I didn't move them out and start any new bee yards. I got a couple of prospects that will probably maybe try to set them up a little bit here this winter, and we'll move out colonies this next year. But at this point, I'll leave some of these colonies alone where they're at because it's not going to hurt anything. we got them mostly fed up for the most part. I feel pretty good about where they're at. Even the splits that were a little bit lighter that I did a couple more rounds of feed on, got a little bit more syrup left in the tank. That'll probably wait until this next week because it's supposed to be, I don't know about you, JW, at your place, but here over the weekend, it's supposed to be pretty chilly. And I think actually, I don't know if it's tonight or Sunday night, we actually are supposed to hit like 33 or 34 as a low. So,
yeah, but later in the week, they're talking up high 60s and 70s for highs, you know.
yeah, I'm seeing that again too. And I'll wait to put any more feedback on them, but I have a little bit more syrup. It's not quite at a 2-to-1 ratio, but I'm going to put those on the rest of these smaller colonies. And here's another observation that I had for people when talking about feeding and different style of feeders, as far as top feeders, division board feeders, bucket feeders, and all this. I primarily will use a lot of, well, two different styles. My preferred one is the, oh boy. Well,
Saracel.
yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Saracen brand. You've heard this story before, but we also use a lot of the Man Lake versions of it, which is basically the big trough and it's got a big hump in the center, and the whole center is screen going down both sides so the bees can come up, go down the screen and back in. I don't like those as much because sometimes the bees will get out in the screen and get in the top feeder, and then when they get in the feeder, they can't get back out, they die. So that part kind of they need to redesign that feeder a little bit, but it's a good way to put bulk feed on bees pretty easily, and it's just simple. I don't have to go back multiple times to feed. You can get about 3 gallons on an 8-frame feeder, maybe 3.5 on a 10-frame feeder of those Man Lake or Saracel. So the Saracels, you find less drowning and they work well. But the point I was going for is what I noticed is I had a bunch of feed last week. So I think the last time I finished feeding was not yesterday, Friday, but the week before Friday. I put feed on some bees and I went back and there was still some feed left. That wasn't quite at 2-to-1. It was about maybe 1.25 on weight per every 1 gallon. And the interesting thing that I noticed is some of the division board feeders that I had in some smaller colonies, when I went back, all the division board feeders were empty, but the Man Lake top feeders still had syrup in them. So, and the top feeders were on big colonies. So what that tells me is when the cooler nights and a little bit cooler days that we've been having, the bees won't break cluster far enough to go 3.5 inches or 4 inches up and down to get the syrup and to go back up and down. But what they will do is they will pass over that frame that they're on down into the division board feeder, take syrup up and take it back into the colony. So that's something to think about. I mean, experienced people probably understand this and know this, but if there's any newer beekeepers in the chat, not every feeder is created equal, and they all have their pros and cons. And I would say for late feeding, a bucket feeder and a large hive top feeder are not best when your overnight low temperatures are cooler, but a division board feeder, they will definitely take it out of. Again, there's a point in which they'll stop feeding on that too, because they have to stay clustered. Yes, I do, Ben. I still have it. As a matter of fact, I just went out there to the Union Yard by your place yesterday, and most of those feeders were empty, and all the division board feeders were definitely empty, so I filled all those up. And that was one yard that actually needed a little bit more feed on those a little bit smaller split colonies that we had out there.
Are you doing anything on pallets, Tom?
So I don't have anything on pallets yet. I have that I built about a month and a half ago. I built 20 two-way pallets, and I set them out up there. I did not put any bees on them. I had a new yard we were going to start up, and I just I had other things that were more important to take care of, so I never actually put the bees out at this new property and moved bees out to there. And the later it got, the more I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave them where they're at for right now, because I can move them next spring early in the spring. I'll move them out and start setting those up when I need to make all these splits at that point.
Oh, man.
But I did cut enough material to make another 20 two-way pallets. And I was going to pull up a picture and show you. And I talked to a lot of different guys that have made 2-way pallets and 4-way pallets. And the one that I come up with that I liked for what I was wanting to do with it, I have, actually, this is not even. So just for reference, that material that's on the top of there, the rim that goes around there, and also the board that it's on is actually HDO. It's 3/4 inch HDO. But that was one I come up with. It's just 3 2x4s going edgewise. And I have 2 1x4s on the bottom as part of the skid. And then there's a 3/4 inch HDO as my bottom board, and then the rim that goes around. I don't have any here to show, but I actually in the back corners of that I drilled 2. Well, you can kind of see a little bit on here. I drilled 3-inch holes in the back corners of it, and I screened them both sides. And the idea with that was if there's any water that gets in there, it'll drain out the back. And also, I mean, it offers some ventilation, not much, but
I wonder if they're going to propolize that up. We'll see, I guess.
It's possible. And if they do, absolutely, you know, whatever they want. And if honestly, if I find that they do, so this next set of 20 I started to build, I already cut all the material and I started to assemble them the other day, and I need to rip down a little bit more material. I am going to drill some more 3-inch holes and screen those as well. So I'll have 40 2-way pallets, so enough to put 80 colonies on. And I think I'm going to stop there for the time being. And then when I get them out and start running them next year, I'll see how I like them. And
the only I've got a few. I probably got 12 2-ways, but the only thing I don't like about them is it's hard to check weight.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it, but if you shift the box a little bit and it sits back down, I don't have clips. I just use nails on the inside of the box to help them stay in. But sometimes it'll come down on top of one of those nails. You got to kind of fight it around. The bees are trying to fly out from the bottom and all that. So
yeah, well, and that's when I'm checking weight. That's probably what I'll do. I'll be breaking that bottom sealer, which is probably a non-issue, but I'll pry it and I'll pick it up and I'll check it, because like on those colonies now, I just go up to the back or I go to the side and I give it a, you know, if I grunt, I know that it's good. You know, that's kind of what I'm looking for. That one little ugga, that's kind of what I'm looking for. And if it feels like it's weighted down with literally what we all say, the box of rocks, I'm like, yeah, that's good. I don't break into those colonies. They're fine. But that's probably what I do. I'll probably break the seal and I'll pick them up and check them, because in the early spring when I'm wanting to check a colony, you know, I don't usually pop the lid. I'll usually pop it from the bottom or break the 2 boxes apart, and I'll count the frames or count the seams on the bottom side of that, so I know how many frames of bees I have. If you're trying to count frames of bees or check a cluster size by the top, don't waste your time. You're not going to get an accurate read. Those bees go up and they fan out on the top to patrol frames and to kind of go back and forth, so you won't get an accurate read. But yeah, I've done that at 20-degree temperatures. So, I mean, it's not a standard practice I always do, but if I happen to be out there or happen to be rolling through the area and wanted to see what the food stores look like or the clusters or whatever, you know, the cluster size, I'll break the boxes and I'll just peek in them. It's usually cool enough they don't fly off, so you don't need any protection. All you need is a hive tool and your eyeballs. So
let's see if I got this working now. I had to do one photo at a time.
Oh, okay. So just for reference, this is what you're looking at, that piece of wood there below the box is a double screen board, and that opening is roughly 2.5 inches, I guess, something like that. So you can see, and some of these are single 8s, some of them are double 8s, but that black rim that's down there is a feeder for the bottom colony, actually. So then you see the wood look or the natural wood look, and that's the double screen board. And then you see the box on top of it. But you can see right there how much those bees have propolized that entrance on there. So they don't even want a 2.5 inch opening. Now, I'll tell you for reference, the top of that There's no top entrance on those colonies. There's no top ventilation up there. That's all they have. What airflow that comes through the bottom two. I have 2 3-inch holes drilled in that double screen board to the bottom colony, and the screen on both sides. So that's the opening, and then the opening right there is the only opening in those colonies. So, I mean,
I must have missed one of them somewhere.
But they just started putting on that propolis in there within probably the last, I don't know, month and a half ish, maybe a little bit longer.
I saw that for the first time this past season. Some of my hives, I didn't close them all the way up and just left them open. They were pretty strong hives, but they closed it up themselves. They had it. They didn't have the entrance actually blocked, but they actually came just above that entrance and kind of rolled that propolis down.
Interesting.
I had it on one of my videos several months back, but I'd never seen that before until this season, this past year.
Yeah. I think it's, I mean, if you're really taking just a close observation at the small details and stuff, like I said, I noticed too within the last month and a half when I went to go take a feeder off or do something like that, you couldn't, like there's certain times of the year you can pry a box apart without having a hive tool. But later in the season, as it cools just a little bit and they start propolizing the heck out of everything, you literally almost have to have a jackhammer sometimes to get in those colonies. I mean, you're struggling to get in there and like, and finally it's like, pow, it's like, holy crap.
That's why I prefer the paint scraper style hive tools. You can hit them on the back, that little fold down part with your palm, and those J hooks, you can't.
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that with that. But
so see,
you reminded me. I got to remember when I go to Crossroads, because I only have a few bottom boards left that have the full width opening, 3/4 high by the width of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have them like little slots on each side, and they're only 3/8 of an inch high. But I've got one out there that's wide open, and it was the best producer by far of any box I had. Now that's probably just coincidence. I don't think it had that much to do with it, but
yeah,
they would have a time propolizing that whole thing. So I think I'm going to take a strip. I cut strips of wood that are about 1/4 inch thick, and I just cut a tiny little entrance out of the middle, and then I just take a screwdriver and tack it on the front of the box for the winter.
Yeah. Well, I noticed there's probably in one yard I was at feeding yesterday, there was about 3 colonies that didn't have an entrance reducer in them, and I have no idea why. I mean, they're just not there. So I guess it didn't have them in them or what. And I don't really see a whole lot of difference either direction on those colonies with them full open or not. The only thing that I'll say I've noticed is robbing. But this year, well, actually the last couple of years, we keep those entrance reducers in the larger opening size, and I just leave them. Sometimes going into winter, we have a lot of screen boards that they're sitting on, not the double screen boards, but the screen bottoms, I guess, rather. And they'll have that little chloroplast piece that slides in and out. The only thing I don't like about that midsummer is a lot of debris falls through there, and you'll get hive beetles and other things that'll kind of try to congregate down there. So sometimes I'll rip them all out, and then I forget to put them back in. So like, it very well may go through winter and I don't put any of them in, or I might put some of them. And again, I think that's like just a small detail that I don't know that it really matters a whole lot. Again, my observation of my area, I just don't see a lot of difference with it, so it's just these little things that I notice about the colonies. That's kind of the reason why I started putting the entrance reducers back in, is when we were doing the cutouts, I would see a lot of these I did see a huge, big blossoming hive inside this space, and they'd have some little bitty tiny entrance in there, and the colony would flourish. And I'm like, I don't really understand. And I've asked the question on here many times. People might remember. I'm like, answer me this question. Why do they have the full 3/4 inch opening on the front of a hive?
Right.
And the best answer that I probably heard was one guy said, because that's the way we've always done it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it.
That's a prison explanation. That's the way we've always done it.
Right.
Doesn't matter where it's policy or not.
That's right. Yeah. There's not a reason for it. It's just like, I mean, I understand the 3/4 inch opening because that's dimensional size lumber, right? So 3/4 inch is easy for us because it's dimensional. But
well, actually, I'm doing away with screen bottoms slowly, but I've got some that I built. I think I actually showed them to you one time on one of these lives. It doesn't have a landing board at all, and it's got a 3/8 by 4 inch opening on the front. But I'll probably, once they wear out, I won't be using them anymore.
Here's another thing that I thought was kind of interesting. You guys ever take and offset a box just a little bit, or have a box where a corner might be kind of chipped out and that the bees can almost get through it? I guarantee you 90% of the time they will finish chewing that wood out of there because it's pine, and they will make a second entrance for themselves. I have 2 colonies right now that a box must have gotten slightly chipped or broken, and I forgot about it, and I was back there just feeding bees from the back. And sometimes if I'm just feeding from the back and not going nuts, I don't put anything on, you know. But a couple of them started flying out. I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like, oh, dang, I forgot about this box. They chewed it out the rest of the way, and that's a second entrance for them, you know. So it's just funny to see these little things that little details.
Well, everybody does things differently. I don't have a hive in my yard. It's got over, I'm going to say, an inch by 3/8 high, an inch of entrance on any of my reducers. I shut them clear down as tight as I can get them every winter, and I use metal. I use all aluminum entrance reducers.
Yeah, the one with the little bitty hoops on them, right? The little entrance deals. Yeah, kind of like what the Acme.
Some of my what I call medium strength hives. I've got 3 strengths of hives: medium, strong, and stout. So that's about 3 gauges of my hives. And if I've got medium hives, I don't have anything open but them three little 3/8 openings.
Yeah, one little trick you can use if you want to really make some honey is if you're using like you do, Tom. You have a double screen board. You got 2 colonies, one's facing what we call front and one's facing back. If you'll come in later in the year, or right at the beginning of the flow, you can pull that queen and a couple of frames, make a split out of it, and then just take that double screen board out, put a queen excluder in there, and boy, that top box will fill up with honey so fast it'll make your head spin.
Oh yeah.
Because they don't have a queen anymore. Everything hatches out, and leave it. Don't combine it and make them figure out how to go around the front. Just stick a stick between the boards or something like that, and give them that. Let them keep using that same entrance they're used to using.
Yeah.
Boy, they'll fill that super in short order.
Sure.
The other member of my singing duet, Joy, is demanding that I let him back into my homestead. So I'm going to go get him.
Time for a singing competition.
So, Joey, if you don't mind, I want to take a little bit of time and talk about the Hives for Heroes.
It's a perfect time. Our count just went back up, so it's a good time to talk about it.
Good deal. But yeah, I've been talking, I've been texting, I guess, back and forth with Melissa. We're going to try to get that started. We set a date for the drawing, which is going to be December the 20th, which is a Saturday. And we're going to do it right here on Joey's channel, 7 o'clock. We're going to run it pretty close to what we did last year. One of the things I'm trying to get set up, I haven't heard back from Hives for Heroes. I might need your contacts there, Tom.
Sure.
But what I would like to do is get the money routed straight to them, and them to be able to report to me who gave how much, so I can still handle the tickets. So I can rig it to you guys that really pay me.
Yeah, I see.
But but yeah, I'd rather not handle all that money and have to write one check like I did last year. But
I still owe Phillip money from last year.
I think you owe me like what, 6 cents?
6
Thanks.
cents. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get it from you at Nobby. I got a whole meal out of you, and I avoided y'all. 2 years ago, I got a meal out of Joe, and then I avoided him all last year. I didn't have to pay it back.
He forgot about it until now, right?
Joey's like, "Why do you keep running off every time I walk up?"
So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I gotta go.
But yeah, back to the Hives for Heroes. Yeah, that's one little small change. What we do want people to do is, if you want to make a donation, start thinking about what you want to make and email a picture of it to Melissa, so we don't put her through the ringer with that flyer again. We want to make sure all those donations by the 1st of December are locked down. So get the word out and start thinking about how much you might want to donate. I think we're going to do the same thing with the, one ticket per $5 like we did last year. That seemed to work pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering doing 5 for $20, I'd like to hear, what people in the comments where they think that's a good idea or not. But yeah, we're looking forward to getting it going.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, and our it's going to be called the Hive Life, No Life. I'm sorry, No Life, Hive Life. What do we call ourselves? A group, a consortium?
Are we gonna? You may have said it and I missed it. Are we gonna have? If anybody wants to donate, like I did last year, I did a interview cover for the drawing and stuff like that. If anybody wants to donate something to give away,
Yes, and for sure, and don't send it to me or Melissa or anybody. Just take a picture of it, and then I'll help coordinate whoever wins it. You can just ship it directly to them. If you have something that's too big to ship, like Matt last year had a bunch of fondant, and that stuff's so heavy he didn't want to ship it. We might have a few things where it requires you either are at Nobby or know somebody that's going that can pick it up for you.
Yeah.
And I would like it to be, a mixture of beekeeping goodies and gift boxes, because we want to keep this open to people that aren't necessarily beekeepers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, some people are good at doing certain things, certain crafts. We don't want to exclude them, right?
Yeah, and donating it keeps you. Everybody has a chance to win except me. I'm, and Noah, because we're handling the tickets. But just donating something doesn't exclude you from winning something. Except JW.
I never win anything anyway. I always get rooted out of everything. I never get nothing. Everybody's always picking on me.
Hey, Phillip, he's lying. He won me and Matt over there at his place.
That's true. True.
Can't have everything. You got to sacrifice sometimes.
Hey, yeah. What about cash? Yeah, I don't know, Russell. I never had anybody send me cash. We've had I had people mail me personal checks, but that's all right, I guess.
Well, you're trying to keep the money out of your account and out of your hands and then theirs.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm hoping to get a little guidance from Hives for Heroes, because last year when Steve Jimenez came on, he said we can set it up to where people send their money to them and they just track it.
Yeah,
which I would really like.
that'd be great too. Yeah,
definitely.
But I know, last year there were certain people that said, "Look, I don't do any of that electronic stuff. Can I send you a check?" And I'm like, "Sure. Whatever it takes to get the money in the right hands, let's do it." But
well, they can probably just as easily send that check to Hives for Heroes too. So maybe what we can do is we'll try to Phillip will touch base with you and I, or you, I, Melissa, whatever, and see if we can get in touch with Steve, or if he's got somebody else he wants to handle it, whatever, and figure out those details about how he wants to handle that. But I think it would be best to handle in some electronic form or fashion would be easiest and best. But for the folks who can't or don't want to deal with that, maybe they can get a check in. But it would be nice, like you said. I've always been the same way when Melissa set it up before. She's like, "Yeah, you can just Venmo." I'm like, I don't want any of that money running through my accounts.
I questioned my accountant several times because it all went through my business. And I was like, you make sure that I'm not paying, 30% of this to the IRS.
That's right. That's what
I don't want to do that.
No,
It takes the fun out of it for me.
It absolutely does.
If it shows up as income. So he said, no, it's money in. And as long as I write the check out of the account, it's money out. So he said, don't worry about it. So
That's good.
I did. But yeah, that definitely crossed my mind. Yeah, JL Aviators, thank you. He said he'd donate one or two of those bucket alarms. That'd be a great prize.
Cool.
That's John Boxteagle out of Jacksonville, Florida. John has actually graciously donated. I don't know. There's several of them actually. I think they're right back here. For anybody that's going to Nabi, actually.
Yeah. We only got one new rule this year that I know of, is that Paul at Hale Hives can't win a hive if somebody donates it. But I'm making that the rule.
There you go, right there.
That's my one rule.
John,
I like that one. That's the perfect one for a bucket right there.
So he has a few of them that he's given to me. That these are all going to Nabi. I got this one box right here. There's 3 of them total. These 2 are the same size. These are both number 45s. So that's 2 1/8 alarm. And then this one here is a 75, which is a 3 3/8 alarm right here. So if anybody's coming to the Nabi dinner, that's on Wednesday evening from 6:30 till 9:30. These are going to be given away. So thanks to John with J&L Apiaries. We really appreciate his generosity.
Appreciate that, John.
Yeah, John's been really kind to take care of everybody with that. So I have all those there that'll be coming to Nabi with us.
And I'll tell you that my only thoughts, that is something that you think you don't need until you use it one time.
That's right.
Then you say, I should have always had this. Not that only did it keep you from messing the floor up and losing honey, but it just, when you're working in the honey house, you're always thinking about, I got to keep my mind on my bucket. But when you got that on there, it takes that away. And it just makes it so much more fun. It's one of those.
It absolutely does. Well, and I've said this before too. It doesn't take much of that honey honey that to be spilled on a floor. So I'll just give you, for example, depending on what size one that you want. So the number 45 bucket alarm, which was that first. I'll show them again here. But the number 45, which is, let's see, this one here is a number 45.
Let's see.
So here's the thing on the back. You can see right in the general. He has a number 45 at 2 1/8, a number 75 at 3 3/8, a number 100 at 4 5/16, and a number 120 at 6 1/4. So just for example, this one here, which is the number 45, he sells this online for $49. So I don't know about you guys, but if let's just say you're selling it for at 10 pounds as your average $10 a pound, all you have to do is spill 5 pounds of honey, and this would have caught you. So
yeah,
and like Joey said, I agree with that statement 100%. It's something you don't think about, and you're like, okay.
I like the 3 3/8, and here's why. When it goes off, I don't have to jump and run. I know I still got a little time, and I can get over there and go ahead and shut the valve off.
That's this one right here.
So when you're saying length, you're talking about the length that it sticks down into the bucket.
Yeah,
right there. Mm-hmm. If you look at the length of this right here, that's a 3 3/8 for the alarm to go off, compared to this one, which is a 2 1/8 on that float.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the depth from here. Let me see if I can show this. Right here to where the bucket alarm thing is at, because that's where it sits on the bucket right there against that edge right there. I know it's in plastic and it's hard to see, but
you said there's one that's like 6 inches long.
Yeah,
there is.
somewhere
Which-
like that.
That's a number 150.
Okay, so if I'm using one of these, which you could hold your, anybody use this little system? I got that off of a video from I forget that guy's name. It has the funny beard that does all the queen raising. He did all his tips and techniques, but this is just a cut off bucket.
Yeah.
And I like to take it off. I like to stop it when the honey gets right here to this cut edge, which leaves it basically that far from.
How long is that hold from where your finger is right now to the top?
I'm gonna say it's about 6 inches.
Hey, John, if you want to send me any stock photos, send them to my. You can send them to me through Messenger on Facebook. You can send them to me. Text them to me, whatever you're comfortable, or you can send them to email if you want it via honeybees plural at gmail.com via honeybees at gmail.com. You can send them there. So you were looking at the 6 1/8, Phillip?
Yeah, I think that would work with this.
Or 6 3/8. I'm sorry. That's the 150. So on his website, that right there.
Oh yeah, it's exactly how he's using it basically. Yeah, well,
Yep, that would work.
That one is
work.
$72.
Yeah.
For that one right there. That's the 150. But John also said too in here, and he's left it in the comments, he can do longer if you want. So if you have a custom size that you need for whatever you're looking for, look him up, jlapiaries.com. And I know John's told me this a couple of times. He goes, if you need something that's custom, Tom, let me know. So he can actually do a custom size for you if you're looking for something.
We just started this method this fall, and I really like it because before we were only getting about 45, maybe 50 pounds in our buckets, and now if I let it get to here, we're getting right at 60. So,
yeah, we use,
but it's so far down in there, it's hard to see. Pretty far in the shadows. But so you have, a bucket alarm would be really nice to not have to worry about that.
So Phillip, if you actually do a clarifier, that you need to do is you need to go through his honey bucket alarm and the shutoff controller, which is something else. And that's actually a very, very helpful tool. If you're using like a bucket or a clarifier, that basically you can plug that into your pump or whatever you're utilizing.
It's a switch. Okay.
It's a full switching mechanism. And he's got that for $190. So that really sets it into an automated system, really. And I'll tell you what, it was absolutely helpful for me to have that in there. I didn't know how much I'd appreciate it until in my barrels I put one of the, I can't remember what size it was. I think it was the 6 1/4, 6 3/8 alarm in the actual 55-gallon drum. Had the hose pump going up into there and the 1.5-inch hose pumping into there. I had the shut off switch mechanism in the clarifier. So when it reached it like within, I don't know, 1.5 inches or so of the top, I can't remember what the shut off was, it would engage the pump. And when it hit the second float down at the bottom, it would actually trigger it and shut it off. So I just plug your pump into it and use the pump kind of like you would a plug in the wall. You can like you'd be plugging and unplugging the pump basically. And then when that finally filled up that drum, and it's kind of loud in the garage when all that's going on, you got the radio playing and then, the fans going, the dehumidifiers going. And all of a sudden you hear this high-pitched, audible, piercing beep sound from the barrel that, hey, it's full and you've got about 6 1/4 inches of the top and it's going to be overflowing. And so, like you said, it allows me a handful of minutes to go over there and get it taken care of. So, uh-oh. There he is.
There's a duck dog now. Is that a duck? Well, can't tell what that is.
That's a monkey.
He looks
monkey.
like he's tired. He's ready to go to sleep.
Yeah, so am I. Like a few of us.
What does he call that? His squishy?
I didn't hear you.
Does he call that like his squishy or something? Or you call that his squishy or something?
Quack.
His quack. That's it. His quack.
You got a duck and a deer and a monkey. started with a duck, but he's got where he tears the ducks up pretty bad.
He's a retriever.
Yeah, he's a natural retriever. He does it pretty much on his own.
We used to have what they call the Russian bear dog. He rushed around the house and bear down on a biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who has some ideas? I run out of ideas.
Slow season.
Yeah. I'm not completely disappointed for it to slow down a little bit. I'm ready for a bit of a change.
No, I need to get to building equipment again.
It's a good time to do that when it's wintertime and cold and the days are short.
Yeah, this little fall harvest is. Well, we're glad to have it though. We're blessed to have it.
Yeah.
I ended up getting 475 pounds off these little old colonies here.
Wow.
Yeah, best year I've ever had here.
That'd turn into a nice little late season profit for you.
Yeah. There's actually probably another 30 pounds out there. I'm leaving it. Not getting everything dirty again. I'm glad to have everything cleaned up.
Phillip, how many colonies are you taking into winter?
I think I'm still right around 64.
That's plenty.
64. Well, maybe one more since Noah caught another swarm. Like I told him, I said, if that came out of one of our hives, that hive's in trouble. If that's a mated queen.
Yeah. You'll figure that out next spring.
Yeah, exactly.
Or sooner.
But we're gonna be moving, because of what happened with Jared, we're gonna be moving probably 6 of these out to Crossroads, and then the other 2 or 3 down to the country. Probably won't be able to resist having a couple of hives around here though, but I'll scale way back. When it comes time to rear queens, there's nothing quite like walking out your back door and checking them.
Mm-hmm. That's something that we're going to focus on ourselves a little bit here too. Melissa wasn't still feeling good this spring with having to have that small surgery and all. So it kind of set her back, which tied my hands up a little bit. So I was really blessed and glad to have my boys really taking care of some stuff. On the weekly maintenance side, it really freed up some of my time in some areas, that's for sure. But and those guys did a fabulous job too. So I probably need to. Don't tell them I said this, but probably need to ante up some bonus checks or something, But anyway, we were talking about our goals for this next year and what that's going to look like and stuff. And that one of our goals that we have is I don't think we're going to make any large growth here. Maybe really small, but we want to turn out another 30+% nucleus colonies than what we had, or roughly probably close to 50% actually more than what we had this last year to start. And then we are purchasing a few different things, small things, probably after Navi working to deal with Michael Mahar and Apame right now for some queen mating stuff, but we're going to work pretty hard and diligent on selecting and some grafting and get on not a long-term schedule, but a short schedule in the spring because I'll have about 50% of our colonies will be this next year. We'll have 2-year-old queens in it. So my intention is going to be to requeen every single one of those. And then the queens that we reared this year, I'll let them run for next year. Unless they peter out a little bit or have problems, and we'll replace those too, obviously. And then we will need those for like a second round of splits. And then I think what we'll probably do is sell off any additional that we don't need, want, or whatever. So, and that's going to be a lot of what Melissa will be doing herself. I'll set up the colonies and stuff, but she'll be the ones doing the grafting and all. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And seeing how that pans out for us. I don't want to count any of our chickens before they're hatching, but we'll see.
Did you see it was Gwyneth Griffith? I can't ever he had a video with a guy by the name of Victor. He had several videos, but the one where he talked about his queen rearing, that to me was amazing. What he does. He
I'm not
takes,
sure who you're talking about.
yeah, Glenn Griffith is the guy that's from Wales. It's not Wales. He's from, where is he from? It's up the northern part of England. He does beekeeping, farming, countryside living, and we do reviews as well. That's his, I don't know if
I
you.
don't think I've never watched him. I don't know who that is.
Okay. Now he's got a really nice YouTube channel, and he's growing really fast. But he does sheep and cows and all kinds of stuff. But he has a pretty big bee outfit and sells a lot of equipment and stuff like that too. But anyway, he's been going around the English countryside talking to like really big bee farmers. And there's one guy that immigrated from Ukraine. His name's Victor with a K.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy built all his own equipment. But he talked about how he did splits. He never looks for a queen. He never digs in the box and looks for a queen before he does a split. He uses a push pin that tells him how old his queen is supposed to be. Not how old she is, but how she's supposed to be based on when he dropped the cell in there. Okay. And then if that queen is more than 2 years old, that box, he takes like 8 boxes and he just stacks them up, 8 tall. All of them have a queen that should be more than 2 years old, but they might have a new queen. Mm-hmm. They might have a brand new queen. He does that, and he comes back the next day, and he takes those 8 boxes, and that's his split material. He makes splits. One of his splits is going to have a queen in it, but he doesn't care which one.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that queen who won the battle of 8 queens is probably a badass. She's fine. She's fine to call that year because she's probably last year's queen anyway. Mm-hmm. And he does that in all of his yards. He goes through and he makes like stacks of 8 with all the older queens, and he doesn't care if they're really older or not. He doesn't mark them. He doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And he flies through and he does, 500 or 600 colonies like that in just a little bit of time.
Wow.
Which was a really slick system, I thought. And
Brian Cooper says Gwyneth, I don't even know how to pronounce that name, Gruff something or other. Gruff. I don't know if that's misspelled or what.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting how he did that. And I thought, you know what? You could do that on a small scale. You could say, I know these. You could just buy. Okay, I'm going through my box, and this queen is not really laying very well. It's spotty pattern or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or I've been waiting on for 2 years and she's still not doing anything. That could be just, okay, this is a weak colony, and you just go stack all those up over onto the side. And I'm not searching for queens. I know she's not doing a good job.
Yeah,
I can let another queen find her and kill her rather than do like 5 colonies. And now you've got all your materials for splits, and all you got to worry about is one queen that's going to be in one of your splits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, is that guy from Wales, Phillip? Or?
Yeah, that's him.
You'd think those Englishmen would learn how to speak English so you could understand them.
What's funny is he knows he's very conscious of his accent, and he knows that if he really speaks his dialect, no one can understand him. But so he slows down and tries to enunciate, but it still sounds crazy to him. It's almost Scottish. He's in, I think that's the far north of England, so he's
that's Gaelic or Gaelic or whatever they call it. I think it's that accent.
And Brian needs to put his wife's name on there because it's really wild. It's full of consonants too. Anna Yield or something like that. Anna Yield.
I see we got another Californian in here. Where'd he go? Wing. Yeah.
That's a new one on me.
He
but we're certainly
he needs to look out for Todd and Brian, when they do their
Maybe
their
not.
lives, late night lives on every other Thursday.
Loma Vista.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd's in here somewhere. I think he's still cooking, maybe, or something.
Yeah, he was.
Great.
He was doing something. I don't forgot what he said he was doing. But they're every other Thursday. They just had one this Thursday, and the next one will be in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Todd announced the name of that show that other night. He said it was something like Late Night Bee Love with Honey Daddies or something like that.
Hey, Phillip, I don't want to change the subject, but where would you want the bucket alarms being sent to? How do you want that handled?
Well, the bucket alarms, what we would like to do is for John just to hang on to them. And then is John coming to Nobby?
I thought he said, yeah, I'm almost positive, 100% positive he is. John, just comment back that confirm that you are coming to Nobby.
Yeah. John, what we would like to do is if you're coming to Nobby and the person that wins it is coming to Nobby, that's the easiest way to hand them off. But if they're not coming to Nobby, if you don't, when you do offer up something to give away, we hope that you would ship it to them at your cost in the United States. We do limit it to continental United States. We don't want to get into international shipping territory, but you can say has to be picked up at Nobby because some things are just too heavy to ship. It's too big of a burden. But generally, I know I shipped my package and it, probably cost $10 or something to ship it. Like the basket I sent.
I'll send you, Phillip, I'll send you the 2 pictures that he sent to me for the 2 bucket alarms that he wants to donate.
So, give it to Melissa. She's the one that's
Yeah, that's right.
putting it on the flyer. But yeah, when you do donate something, you are committing to getting it to the person that wins it. That I don't want to send it to me and then have to ship it twice.
Yeah.
I will be heavily involved in getting people together. That is a little bit of it's like anything else. 80% of the people were online, knew who won it. We were able to hook them up just that night. But 20% of the people took a week or two to get together because they were busy and didn't know who won or that they won or whatever. Any unclaimed prizes I just get to keep. That's another one we'll go ahead and make.
All right, I sent those stock pictures that John sent me and the information to Melissa. She was upstairs taking a nap earlier, so I guess she had to get up too early for the market this morning. We actually had a really good day at that market too. I was pretty impressed.
I may look into trying to set up a little booth at the fair next year. I noticed they have what they call the commercial building, and it's usually always the same people in there. For the last couple of years, they've been expanding outside to booths outside, tables and tents. And I'm going to look in to see what that costs. I may even get the club involved and let, everybody have some to sell there, or either just do it for myself. I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
So what do you do, Joey, to sell your honey right now?
A lot of it just gets sold right out of my honey house right here. I have 2 stores. I have a hardware store right here close by, and a pharmacy sells it, and they move it pretty good. But I was surprised. I had a customer call me about a week ago and asked me what day he could come by, and I told him because I was busy. It'd be a few days. I told him Wednesday. That Wednesday he called. He said, I want to make sure you got what I need before I come. I said, what do you need? He said, I need 12 quart jars and 12 squeeze bottles. I said, I got it. Come get it.
That's
I
awesome.
like those kind of sales.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Early this morning, right off the bat, a lady came up and we sold her 3 of those. There was all Capel. They're 18 ounces total, 3 6-ounce jars, and they were $33 and a piece. And then she bought 3, and then she came back and bought a 4th. And yeah,
Huh.
like $111 or something in one sale. That's nice. Nice way to start the day. We have a few customers that'll buy a whole case.
Yeah, this one last year they actually come. I say last year, several months ago they come and bought. They bought 12. I'm sorry, I said 12. It was 12 and 12. Last year they come bought 12 quarts, but only 2 squeeze bottles. This year they bought the 12 quarts and 12 squeeze bottles. So
They wanted to refill.
they might be I figured they was gonna give a couple of them away for Christmas or something. And I threw him a couple of creamed honeys. He said, I got to buy this. I was giving it to him. I told him I don't sell a lot of it, but I give it to my regular customers at Christmas time. He said, well, I need to buy this. I said, no, you don't. I said, I'm giving you these 2. Well, any more, I sell it to you.
Yeah.
You know what? I've been hearing lately people giving my little dog eats a little honey that drips on the floor every now and then. I've been hearing a lot about how it's good for them.
Yeah, my dog won't eat honey, but
Huh.
yeah, a lot of people do.
You might have to put a little gravy on it too, make them eat it.
Right.
My dog would eat everything but stuffed olives and slices of lemon. Anything else is on his menu.
Yeah.
Just
My
That's
dog
what
won't-
mine is. If it hits the floor, he's going to eat it. Now, if he knows what it is before it hits the floor, he might not. But if
Yeah.
it hits the floor, he's going to suck it up.
What was that? That reminds me of sucking it up. That reminds me of that Jerry Clower.
With
They
the okra.
threw out, yeah, threw out a bunch of boiled okra in the pen with the hounds with all the hunting dogs.
Yeah.
And that big dog who always got to eat first, he slurped up that boiled okra, and he went down so fast. He turned around and whooped every dog in that pen because he thought they'd eat it.
Yeah.
Hey, Joey.
Wasn't that Brummy?
Brahmi? Was
Yeah.
that the dog thing? I can't remember that.
It might have been. It might be another one, though. I don't know. I've heard so many of them.
I missed the part.
oh, there he is. Look at that, Joey.
Yeah, he showed up.
How you guys doing?
Took him 4 hours to drive at 35 miles an hour all the way home.
I didn't want to throw up too much dust. Phillip.
Hey,
Yeah.
he can't get too excited. It's only a Duramax, okay?
I know, right? It's like,
Yo, Cowboy Cadillac.
yeah, I was just being kind to my buddy JW there. I didn't want to throw dust up on his visor there on the Fartmobile
He should
golf
be
cart that he
home. I'm telling
he
you.
did try to pass me though. That's no lie. He tried to pull up past me and he gave me the trucker's honk, Yeah, no, what can I say? Beekeeping with friends, that's priceless good times, So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I gotta say though, it's weird. As soon as he stepped out of the honey house, boy, the wind started howling and trees were rustling. Like all of a sudden, it just, I don't know what it was, but his retinue, I guess, is what was getting developed or something. But it was no, it was funny though. The weather did kind of turn for a little bit of a cooler day, as you probably saw here, Tom. Kind of a steely gray sky and cold 50. You know, there's a difference between a warm 50 and a cold 50.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That wind makes all the difference too.
Yep. Yep. So how are you guys doing?
I was better, but I got over it.
Yeah.
You've been hanging out with JW. I've heard him say that or something close to it. But yeah, Phillip, I heard the Hives for Heroes things opening back up, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to pop on and mention that I'm happy to make fondant again if that's something that would be helpful. I'm happy to do that.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's a pickup deal at Nobby, or I'm willing to drive a certain distance to help meet. However that logistically can happen, I'm happy to make that work. So
Whatever you
Or-
stand, I guess.
Yeah, just put your expectation on there, and we'll figure it out.
yeah,
Now, I've got 2 or 3 5-gallon buckets full of fondant I can give away.
It's amazing to me how those little girls can get up in there, and it doesn't matter how flat that bag closes down. They can get up there and get every bit of it.
hmm I've just been cutting slits on mine when I lay it in there, and they'll come and feed along those slits until they can gain access, and from there they gain it there. They go into the bag whenever they see fit to it. So
Matt, you need to feed that pig. He's grunting.
oh no,
Now, look, we ain't worried about
doing
that.
it again. So
We ain't worried about that pig. Let him grunt.
You know,
I grew up around him. Let him grunt.
I got to tell you this story on him. I'll tell you how these dirty side guys are. We got to the last hive today and we ran out of smoker fuel.
That's your question, Phillip.
Get messed around. It was all wet. And you know what I told him?
Can you shrink around?
On this door,
That's a
David,
great question. I don't know.
cowboy up.
I don't have any fondant to try it on. I'd sure try it.
JW, did he cowboy up or did he go run away crying?
Cowboy right on up there.
Okay.
I had to rescue him. Got stung on the hand once. He was crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor fella. Poor fella.
It happens.
He's got soft hands, doesn't he, JW?
I got a boxing glove on my left hand, and I got a Popeye on my Popeye forearms on this arm. My little battle that I lost with the nuke today.
That's my what David Burns would say. You boys just need to cowboy up. It was the program.
I had some spurs on today.
Hey, maybe we could do a best picture competition at one of the dinners or whatever. Anybody that can show the most swelling, on your face or whatever. So here's the deal, y'all. If you want to win this, maybe you could win a nice little prize. Y'all better go stick your heads in the hive and start blowing in there this time of year. If you want to get that, think about a dozen stings in the face.
There you go.
Could pay off.
Maybe how are you?
I got stung one time on the top lip by a yellow. It was a paper wasp, but it looked like a yellow jacket. But my goodness, man, I looked even more like an ogre. I'm not gonna say I looked like an ogre. I looked more like my whole top lip was hanging down over my bottom lip down to my chin.
Were you drooling on yourself?
It was terrible. I mean, it was awful. I had a meeting that I canceled. Yeah, I didn't send him a picture of what it was, but the next day my face was so puffy. I sent him a picture of that. I said it was way worse yesterday. This is today. This is now. Yeah, it was awful. But yeah, it hit me right in the top lip, right there. And man.
Oh, JW, do you see the comment Melissa dropped in there for you?
I seen it. Yes.
That wasn't me, just FYI.
She just made fun of me terrible.
I know, it's horrible.
You saw how he threw that on Melissa?
Yeah.
He ain't nowhere around, y'all.
Hey, listen, you see where my hands are at. I didn't type that comment. She's up there being ornery.
Uh,
You know, Joey, I seen one. Did you ever? I just always wondered why that Nightbot thing always says, always sting a like button. How come you never ask it to sting the don't like button?
it can do either. They both do the same thing.
Oh, okay. I think I'm gonna punch it.
Let's see who we got here. Hey, Bill, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Joey? Better late than never, right?
I hear that.
Making a grand entrance.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Hey.
been waiting.
At least I'm here, right?
Right.
JW, are they picking on you tonight?
No, not too badly.
Well, that's good.
I'm trying to reform.
I came in as your backup. That's why I'm here.
Trying not to give him any reasons. Well,
I don't. I only pick on JW when he's not on the chat, but when he's on the chat, I'm scared of him. I'm intimidated.
That's called a keyboard cowboy, right?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
and there you go. You're working on 100 there, Melissa. Keep after it. Keep a drumming. You can get them.
I bet she'll sell that thing out by the time it's all over.
So what are you selling now, Tom?
Oh no, it's for free. It's for the Nobby dinner. The tickets for the Nobby dinner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can do the 175.
Cool.
Yeah. We guarantee you that it's worth the cost of admission.
Oh yeah. I'm sure it is. I know it is. It was last year.
Somebody has another screen open. There's an echo.
Yeah.
What's the matter, Todd, old buddy? Are you mad at me, huh? Get on here.
Him and Brian are doing a great job on their chat, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now they're actually talking about bees. That's something the rest of us very seldom ever get done anymore.
I haven't heard much hunting talk tonight, so that's good. It's more, well, not good or indifferent, but I'm just saying.
Hey, Tom,
Yes, sir.
my bourbon honey turned out more like butterscotch than it did bourbon.
It did.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it tastes more like butterscotch than it does bourbon.
Do you
Sounds
know
pretty
what
good,
kind of
though.
bourbon was aged in the barrel?
It's supposed to have been a Kentucky bourbon.
So I don't know much about it, and I'll tell you the person who would be able to educate us well on that is Michael with 21st B, Michael Mahar. I actually called him this afternoon to ask him a couple of questions. He's actually pretty knowledgeable on everything from the type of bourbon, the char level that's inside the barrel, the type of wood it is. And him and I went over a lot of different details because I have an opportunity to buy a few 15-gallon barrels, but I had a couple of questions that the person had told me about that I was kind of unsure about. So I think I'm going to back off this deal that we were looking at here. But anyway, I wanted to call him to ask him about his thoughts and stuff, but he would be the guy to ask. Him and I we talked for probably, 45 or 50 minutes on the phone and went into some grave detail specifically about that. So I think he could probably better answer that question
Yeah.
than I could, because I just don't know for a fact.
Yeah, it's a oak barrel. And from what I can see from the bunghole, it doesn't look like a real heavy char, but it's charred enough to get a smoky taste out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, that'll make a difference. So what was aged in their previous will make a difference.
A Kentucky bourbon.
The char, because him and I talked about, he said if it's more of a, let me think about this. I thought he said wheat. That'll make it a little bit sweeter. But if you have more, Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna butcher it. I'll let Michael talk about that at some point. He's better educated on that than I am.
Okay.
But it definitely will affect the flavor and the taste.
Can I comment on that, Bill?
Yeah.
I would suggest that if it tastes like butterscotch, that would beat the heck out of that bourbon tasting crap.
Yeah. Well,
It's got to be good.
it does taste good. I like butterscotch,
I do
but
too.
I like bourbon too. So, that's why I was going for the bourbon honey.
Okay.
How long did you age it for?
90 days.
So here's something that makes a difference too that I didn't know about originally. It makes a difference what the temperature you're aging at. If it's warmer, the barrel is warmer, it'll actually absorb more out of the wood than if it's colder. If it's a colder area, it takes longer for it to absorb that, and that can affect the flavor and the taste as well.
Okay. All right, because the room's about 78 degrees where it's sitting.
It's really warm.
Yeah.
Looks to me like your old buddy Clay's been tapping into your barrel a little bit, Bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to give him a talking to when I see him next.
He was up there the other day. He tasted it.
Bill, you'll have to bring some to Navi so we can all sample it. Do like a little tasting table or something.
Yeah, I'm going to bring that. I'm going to bring my pumpkin spice, my peach, and my hot chili.
Hold on. When you say pumpkin spice, it sounds like you're a middle-aged white girl.
Come on now.
Is this going to be samples or is this going to be for sale?
It's going to be samples.
Hey, Matt knows what I'm talking about at the middle-aged white girl. You know?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about too.
I think that's Matt's got the reverb in it.
Let me sign out. I'll get back on Alicia's phone. I'll hijack her phone and try that.
Okay.
Get rid of the pig.
Uh-oh.
It ain't that bad.
It's just something for me to rag you about. It isn't bad, Matt.
But yeah, no, that's. I'm happy to change it.
I want to see. I want you to just snort and see if it's followed by a snort.
Hey, what I want to know is if Matt's planning on butchering that hog that's there in the background so we can have some smoked pork butt for the Navi dinner. That's what I want to know.
I'm trying to get it ready for Todd.
Yeah.
See, it ain't doing it now. It's not doing it at all.
Yes, it is.
There he is.
No, I'm not talking about the snort. I'm talking about the echo.
Oh, the reverb. Yeah.
Y'all
Well,
know
I thought it was.
here.
I thought it was one of them bathroom clips that when you were out here at my place.
That pig on Green Acres, Todd, is Arnold.
Oh.
Me too, DC. They don't know what they could.
Yeah.
Todd wants to know if that pig's name is Arnold.
Yep, it was Arnold.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the pig on Green Acres.
Yeah.
Jack Gabor. Hello, Arnold.
That's the only pig I knew that knew how to use a remote.
Yeah.
They had to climb up a pole to talk on the phone, but they had a remote.
Yeah, I was going to say at that time we didn't even have a remote.
Yeah.
Well, I was the remote. My dad would say, "Go change the channel."
Yeah, and if you didn't like channel, you reach over, smack you on the back of the head, and say, "Change it again."
It didn't take long. There was only 3 channels.
And the rotor for the antenna was a pipe wrench.
Yeah.
At our house, the antenna was, you had somebody on the antenna, you had somebody standing in the doorway, and you had somebody at the TV. And you was yelling, "Go back, go back." That's it. No. Go back again.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
further, a little further.
When in doubt, you just got out the foil ball and put it on there.
Yep.
You guys are new school. I used to fight with my grandpa over who got sitting next to the battery radio to listen to the Lone Ranger.
I was going to say, y'all thought it was radio, didn't you?
Yeah.
Last time I made a joke like that, I got in trouble the other night, so I'm not going to say anything.
I remember we got in so much trouble if we talked during the weather. And the weather wasn't but like 5 minutes, but
Yeah, and you couldn't rewind. Those days,
yeah,
there was
Yeah.
no such thing.
we'd be in the dead of summer and we knew it was going to be 98 degrees and hot for the next 2 weeks. But when that weather came on, you better sit down and keep your mouth shut.
Or be outside, one or the other.
Yeah. Be outside.
After I grew up, I asked my dad, I said, you really just wanted that few minutes of quiet. I don't think you really cared. You knew what the weather was going to be that day and that next day. He said,
You
I
weren't
made
worried about no weather.
no. You just wanted that few minutes of quiet. With 5 kids running around acting crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
with my
Joey.
dad. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Joey, there was a comment up there at around 8:49. Somebody asking about the one queen keeper's hive, and if anybody had any information about it, and that would be greatly appreciated.
8:49. Let's see.
Yeah, it was from the
Man, I totally missed that one.
wind grooved.
Whoa.
Yeah, look up there at 8:49. Yeah. Does anybody have any experience there with that from the keeper's hive? Didn't know if anybody could answer his question.
Never heard of it.
So at
Never heard.
Nabi, there's been a guy there that sells what he calls the keeper's hive, and it seemed like they were actually built very well. I didn't spend much time looking at them, but I believe that was like a single brood box, and you can run nukes over the top of it. I thought maybe I'm wrong with that.
Yeah, you run two separate nuke colonies on top of it.
Okay, Bill, do you know?
That's for you, or are they not, Bill? Aren't they just across from you down there?
We've got a guy here in the area that's got one,
Okay.
and he loves it.
I think the main reason for it is you can run the Damare without having to unstack boxes, right? You can go through your bottom box without having to take boxes off the top. I think that was the reason.
Yeah, you can create a Damari split with nukes, is what it is.
Yeah, and you don't have to unstack your boxes to get down in the brood box.
Right.
Just open it
Or
up,
you can
slide the
have-
frame over.
Or you can have a 2-queen hive with that, because the queen's in the bottom box, and that's where she stays.
Yeah.
And you roll frames up out of it into one of the nukes, one set of the nukes, and that's another hive. They don't make a queen because they have a queen pheromone from the other one. But it's a totally separate hive because it sits on a queen excluder,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't get from one to the other. So they look real interesting. They get that little lid on the side, and you just move everything over, and I mean, it works. So the guy that has it loves it.
Yeah, I believe that I heard Fred Dunn interviewing him. It may have been this year in 25 or 24. I can't remember, but I do recall Fred Dunn having a video. So I would send the Wind Grooved guy to Fred Dunn's channel, and I don't remember when it was. Look somewhere around the February mark, if I remember correctly.
Is that the one that slides out kind of like a drawer?
Oh, yeah, listen to
I don't remember that specifically.
I don't think it slides out like a drawer. I think that would be a better way, but they would end up propolizing whatever was sliding on. But at the frames, Joey, you can slide the frames out towards you. They're on like a rail that you don't have to lift them up. You can slide them towards you and then pick them up.
Yeah.
So to me, it seemed like if your bees are heavy propolizers, it'd probably be kind of hard to get.
That's
to
it.
in
Right
the
there. That picture is it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
And there's another box that goes with it on the other side that has your other nuke set on it.
I guess, Charlie, I guess that's what we're talking about. That seems to be the.
Here's another picture, stock photo they have on their website showing it looks like some sort of production there.
Yep.
So
I
You
think video. I don't know who's got it. Charlie may know. But I think there's a video out on it shows how to operate them.
yeah, looks like you can manage the brood box without having to ever pull off any of the supers up top, which is, I mean, a nice idea.
Yep.
This could very much benefit folks. I would say report back and let us know what your findings are.
Yeah.
From what I recall, the build quality on them was extremely high. When I had seen the video, I might just poke around over there this next year if he's going to be at Nobby just to kick. I mean, I don't think I would have any use for it myself, but I wouldn't mind understanding the way that he's designed it. I thought it was kind of interesting. One other suggestion that I would maybe have for you too, if you don't mind stepping away just a little bit from a Langstroth style, but utilizing the Langstroth style frames, is you can look at a horizontal as well. I mean, personally, I think I kind of like the configuration of the verticalness of that keeper's hive better than I do the horizontal portion for honey production. But if you're just looking to play around in bees, the horizontal hives are very friendly because you could just have to pull one frame at a time. It'll still utilize the same frames that you use in every other Langstroth configuration. And I don't know, could be helpful to you. So Melissa and I have a couple of those horizontal hives that we play around in. We don't use it for any kind of production, but we'll use it for stealing resources or clean rear with them. A lot of different options. So that's something else I might suggest if you're looking for something that's more user-friendly in the terms of if you have physical limitations.
Yeah. Land's hive worked really well for that too. I've got a 25 frame Land's hive that we're going to set up next spring, and it works really well for that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Keeper's Hive. George, I belong to the Westchester Bee Club, and George, well, he's stepping down as president now. And I originally had one of his first designs where he had two brood boxes left and right with two queens and then a tower up the center.
Yeah. And the two queen box, you can actually drill a hole in it in the split between the two setups, so that queen can pass back and forth. And then you go to it's a one queen setup for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, the idea behind they were big in demery.
Yep.
And they wanted to figure out how, instead of having hive lifters and all that, if they were trying to, several of them up there, Keith Jardine, he was a beekeeper from South Africa, who was also the president for a while. And George had the one where he had the column up the middle, which was shared by two queens left and right. Problem with that is one of the queens would always seem to die because I think they hear each other and whatever. And that just didn't seem quite to work. And then Keith came up with, I always called it the L, and that's what you see now. And then George kind of ran with it. And you're trying to, like say, the same principle. You got the one vertical column for honey supers and whatever, but you can pull your brood frames from underneath of all those hives or boxes that are stacked on there.
Mm-hmm.
and saves your back, and it's supposed to be user friendly and stuff. And he's went through quite a few redesigns and stuff like that with materials and things like frame rest. Instead of having the step in there, where the bees would propolize it like we have now, this frame rest actually, the rest of the frame sits up on top of the box, and then he has these sliders that go in that cover those ears up, so the bees can't go in there and propolize that.
Oh, nice.
And it's all little details and things like that he's come up with. And then here recently, he's come up to where he has a clear plastic window, so you can kind of visualize the bees without opening it up and things like that.
Hey, Joey, I got a picture of that one. Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Nope.
Where'd he go?
He shared himself out of the chat. Technology, right?
He's usually pretty good at it.
He'll be back in a second.
Yes, he's back. Right again.
There he is.
Hey, Bill, that didn't work.
No, I know. I clicked the wrong button.
Hey, that's not what you want to hear them say whenever they have their finger on the trigger of a missile, right? Oh, sorry, guys.
Clicked the wrong button.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, there it is. That's the one with the plastic windows in it. They can see.
Yeah.
Man,
And the guy here local that's got one like this space here is open, but he took one of the sides out, and this has frames in it all the way across. So he's got one queen for both sides, and he actually put the split boxes all the way up.
Huh. Hey, so Bill, I have a question. Do you know, in the very, very bottom box, or boxes, plural, there's a center chamber in there that looks like it's about a third of the size of either end. Do you know what that means or what that is?
Well, if you get this one right here.
We can't see your cursor.
I know. But if you get this one here, the center section there, that's what Tom's talking about. And that's open. It's just a dead space there.
Okay.
Oh.
But he took the inside and made it all one big box down there. Is what he did.
Okay.
And it's really convenient to work frames out of.
So you're saying he made that entire bottom chamber one full chamber all the way across. So basically almost kind of like a horizontal hive on the bottom.
Yeah, except it's Langstraw.
Okay.
And it works really well. He comes and gets frames from me all the time.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
There's a guy
like a hybrid.
laying similar to that one time. He had that thing stacked up. That was a beast. You got something else, Bill?
Nope, that's it.
Something's okay. It disappeared, whatever it was.
I clicked it off. Yeah, but he loves it. So
I can see where it'd be very helpful for somebody that cannot, or maybe just doesn't want to do a lot of lifting, but was still like a Langstroth style of configuration.
Yeah. And he runs the Acorn full plastic frames in it all through the whole thing.
Nice.
Hey, Joey, I'm gonna get off of here. My battery's getting low, and my battery on my phone and my personal battery getting low.
You want to run through real quick in case somebody missed it on the?
Oh, sure, yeah, sure. We'll reset or recap. Yeah, we've got a date for the Hives for Heroes fundraiser. We're gonna have our raffle again this year on December 20th, which is a Saturday, right here on Joey's channel, starting at 7. we'll have and we're accepting any kind of people who want to donate any items to be raffled off. Contact me and Melissa if she's in charge of the flyer again. If you have something you want to donate, and I'm trying to set it up where we can pay Hives for Heroes directly, so I don't. Me and Joey and Noah, I think, were the main ones last year. Don't have to handle all the money, but anyway, just getting that on everybody's radar and start thinking about it. What we don't want to do is go right up to the last day with more prizes being added.
Yeah.
Run Melissa ragged like we did last year.
Yeah.
So
I may end up donating some more acorn frames this year,
okay,
like I did last year.
great. That'd be great.
Hey, Bill, you have the shallow, you have the acorn frames, but they're the wood frame, plastic, white foundation that's heavy waxed in the acorn brand, right?
Yeah, the medium.
No, do you have shallows too or not?
I can get the shallow frame, and then I cut down the acorn foundation and put in them.
Okay.
They're a little more expensive, the shallows are, because I have to cut that foundation down.
Yeah, okay.
So, and if you want them, I mean, it's something I'll look at.
Well, let me find out for sure. Melissa's wanting to run in our shallow cut comb boxes. She wants to run a cut comb frame, a shallow frame with foundation for, liquid honey, so that they don't try to cross comb anything. I might still have enough shallow frames here, but I need to look for sure. But I thought I would just ask while I'm thinking about it, because her and I discussed it the other day.
Joey, you going to do a green room tonight?
You talking about after? Yeah. Yeah.
I'll talk to you about it in the green room.
Sounds good, Bill.
Okay. Good night, fellas. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, Phillip.
Night.
Appreciate it, Phillip. We'll see you later.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Matt, did JW treat you right over there in Illinois, or did he treat you wrong?
No, it was a great time. We just started working bees as soon as the weather permitted. Kind of tinkered around there in the garage, and we actually when we got done, we actually went to that little Amish store and got some a couple sandwiches. I tell you what, that place will set you back a little bit. You almost make you have to take a nap. I think it was a half pound of meat just on that sandwich I ate. So
Yeah.
I didn't leave there hungry. That's one thing about going to the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like my family up in Iowa. You're going to work hard and then you're going to eat hard or eat heavy.
Yeah.
Don't go too far from a meal. So yeah, we had a good day. It was kind of weather wasn't good for working bees, but we didn't dive too deep into anything. We just really just put those insulated covers on and got them prepped for fondant and a few hives. For the most part, is pretty straightforward, easy.
Are they
Tucking
all
them in for winter? Yeah. They're all sitting pretty good.
That's good.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. We already been 2.5 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and end the chat. And I want to remind, I already said it one time, any of these West Coast guys that's on here, we got some West Coasters that's doing chats every other Thursday night. And they just had one this past Thursday. So it'll be the following Thursday when they have another one.
13th, Joey.
13th is the next one.
13th, I think they said. I think I'm correct.
That's right.
There's the one right there that's I don't know if he's going to do it this time next time or Brian. But just kind of follow the channel and we'll let you know next week who's doing what. Here we go. Look, there's
They
Brian.
both
Right.
responding. 13th is
November
tonight.
13th. Somebody just come in. Let's see who that is. I don't know who that is.
If you don't know who it is, don't bring him on. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
he said he's Santa Claus. We're just going.
yeah. Don't do that. We've learned that lesson the hard way.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in seeing anything.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Good night, everybody. Appreciate everybody in the chat coming in.
Good night.
And we'll see the rest of y'all in the green room.
Good night.